Well, the time is 17 minutes past 4, and who you're hearing right now is none other than myself, Selaelo Makhwidiri, on the other side of the mic today. I'll be doing that for the duration of the World Cup, where every Monday, right until Thursday, for just a short bit, about 10 to 15 minutes, I'll be hosting. Experts, journalists, people who are involved with football and people who have a keen interest and eye in the current World Cup that's currently taking place in Qatar. Yesterday, Sunday, was the kickoff where the first match took place. The opening ceremony also took place where Qatar showcased itself and its culture and its people and its diversity to the rest of the world. And yeah, it was a beautiful ceremony in my opinion. I'm not sure if I'm being a bit biased, but for me, I don't think since I started watching the World Cup, any of the opening ceremonies have beat the 2010 World Cup one. But that might just be my South African biasness just coming along. But Qatar was good. Morgan Freeman did a little cameo there, which was beautiful to watch. There were verses from the Quran being quoted, and it was beautiful. But on the football sphere, it didn't turn out that well for Qatar when it came to the game itself. And to chat to me about that and a whole lot more of the upcoming fixtures of the next week or the next days and how we see them pinning out and then analyzing a bit of yesterday's match is a good friend of mine, presenter here at Salam Media, sport presenter. I'll be doing a bit of this and then he'll be giving you a bigger um, showcase of the World Cup on Friday nights at 7 right until 8 is Thaakir Dawood. How's it, Thaakir?
Hey, Selaelo. Good afternoon, and afternoon to your listeners and your viewers as well.
Thanks, man. Weird to have you on the other side of the mic, but it's okay. We'll roll with it.
That's something to get used to. You sound good presenting and hosting the show. But yeah, welcome, right? Who's your money on?
Flat. Well. I first before who my money is on. I wanted to hear about your thoughts on the opening ceremony. If you watched it, how was it for you? Did you like what Qatar, put out, showcased for the world to see? What made them as a country because essentially that's what the World Cup is all about. A country marketing itself and showcasing what makes it stand out from the rest of the world and its hosting abilities and its infrastructure and its just general managing, governing capabilities. So, what did you think about Qatar? Were you impressed with the first few glimpses of the World Cup that you saw?
No, I think it was spectacular. From my perspective, I think that all the boxes were ticked in terms of educating the public and portraying what the culture in Qatar is about and telling their culture to us. Because now it's more than just the World Cup. We need to start accepting their culture and getting used to the way they live life. And if
Mm,
you look at that, I think they ticked all the boxes. And it was nice to see how they incorporated their culture and their religious beliefs into the opening ceremony. I mean,
mm,
there was verses of the Quran that refer to us being coming from Adam and Eve and how we come from different tribes, different clans, and
yeah.
different continents, all under one banner. And I think it's nice to see how things like that, all incorporated, come about uniting the nations and uniting the world. And they played on that in order to get unity from everybody. And now, more than ever, I think it's time for everybody to buy into that culture and support Qatar instead of bashing them because of how they run their country. It's westernizing for many followers. And I think in some time we
Well, we seem to have lost Zakir there a bit, but yeah, I think as he was saying, lamenting the fact that Qatar really, really showcased themselves in that regard. They showed the world that they're also a player in the world's governance, and they also showcased a bit of their culture and religion. But I think what really stood out for me, and I think I'm going to touch with Thaakir when you get him back on the air, is how they did things differently. I think no other World Cup has ever paid homage to previous World Cups, that before it. So we had a bit of a cameo from Zakumi, the 2010 World Cup. We had other mascots, the Waka Waka also made a comeback there. So I think that was a really beautiful touch where, they kind of included everyone in their World Cup. You had a bit of, Russia 2018 was showcased, Brazil 2014. They went as back as the first World Cups back in the 90s, showcasing the mascots and the different anthems of the different World Cups. So that was nice to see. I don't remember any World Cup, paying homage to the previous World Cups that have played before and that the other countries have hosted. So it was a beautiful touch. And I think also it showed that there is inclusivity. As much as you want to showcase as much of your country as possible, you also want to accept that you're part of the global village. So I think that's what interested me in the opening ceremony. And I think secondly, what stood out for me was the showcasing of the two elements of what made Qatar. They have a really rich tradition, that spans way back, but they're also a very modern, culturally diverse, culturally inclusive country that is mixing well, where you have the old and the new, modernity and tradition, having a beautiful mix. Okay, so I think we have Thaakir back on the line. Yo, Thaakir, you were still talking about that beautiful verse from the Quran about how we both came from Adam and Eve, and how we make up this global village, although we're from different tribes and from different religions, and we should just accept each other. I think it was a beautiful touch, right?
No, definitely, and I think it's nice to see that everybody's embracing it now, and the World Cup's becoming the global spectacle that it is because everybody can accept each other's cultures, and this is what's going to be done now in Qatar, and everybody's going to get to know each other's cultures. So that's the nice part about it. Also nice to see, the different cultural exposure that were there at the event.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
It
was
was
I
nice
was
to
just
see the
saying.
combination.
I was just saying, what stood out for me was how they were paying homage to the previous World Cups that also occurred. We saw Zakumi making a little cameo there. They had our Waka Waka and the other previous anthems of previous World Cups. So it was also a nice touch for me because I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, and I think that was very, very nice because, for the World Cup to be what it is, it wouldn't be what it is without the previous events being what they were. So it's nice to see how they used that in order to build up the hype for the World Cup. So that was a standout point for me. The fact that they used popular media figures, the likes of Morgan Freeman, to start do the opening ceremony. I think that was also a nice touch. So it was, all in all, I think it was a spectacle of an event. It was nice, and I think the football on show and on offer was also good under the circumstances because the opening match is very much like a final.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
the tension is high. Both teams will play it safe rather than taking the risk, and that's what we got on the day. Both teams played it safe. Unfortunately, Qatar became the first home team to lose a game, the opening game of the World Cup. So unfortunate for them there. But other than that, I think it was a spectacular display of football and humanitarianism.
I want us to focus a bit on the game itself because I think I've been following all the build up to the World Cup, and Qatar apparently had about 6 months of preparation. The team was together for about 6 months preparing for the World Cup. while the other rest of the teams had about 3-4 weeks, even two for others, because the World Cup is occurring concurrently with the different leagues across the world, with the English Premier League obviously being the biggest. Did it show on the pitch for Qatar? They've been together for 6 months. They've been preparing for such a long time, or maybe the occasion just took the best out of them. That big match temperament was just not there, for them. It is, at the end of the day, Qatar's first World Cup appearance, and they're appearing while hosting. So you don't think the nerves kind of took over, and it was maybe just difficult for some more players to comprehend just how much responsibility and how big of an atmosphere the opening game of the World Cup is.
No, not at all. I think you can't expect vertical from a team that's been because they've been together for 6 months. If you look at the league that the opposition countries play in, and you look at the Premier League that's been played in, and all the top leagues around the world, most of Qatar's players play in the local Qatari league. So it's
Yeah.
very difficult to compare the two because of the intensity and the standard that the other leagues are played at. So it's
Mm,
something like that we need to keep into consideration
mm,
as well.
mm. So,
That's one of the points. I think some of the other points would be some of the other points would obviously have to fall back on looking at the other aspects of the game. Um,
mm,
Most of the players come from foreign countries. They're not Qatar. They haven't been residents of Qatar for, let's say, from birth. And there's people of African descent. There's people of European descent that's all in this team. And over a period of 12 years, the squad has been put together. And many people would say that they should have performed better. They should have, could have. But it's a bit too late for that. And you're in the World Cup, and I need to make the most out of the occasion.
mm, mm. And I think what's important now would be how they respond. They have really really difficult fixtures, coming. They still have Senegal to play. They still have also the Netherlands to play. Those are not easy fixtures. When you look at Group A, you would think for Qatar they would be looking at Ecuador and thinking this is maybe that one game where we can maybe at least salvage a point, because it won't be easy against Senegal, with or without Sadio Mane, I should mention, and it won't be easy against the Netherlands. They come with a host of experience. Louis van Gaal, as a coach, has been in the trenches with that team. They've played in the final in 2010, so there is that experience from the Dutch team. So it doesn't look good for Qatar. I think only South Africa right now holds the record of being the first host country to bow out at the group stages of the World Cup. Do you think the same fate awaits Qatar?
It's very, very possible. Gone are the days where teams would make it through and you'd wonder why and how they got through. But let's call it apple, and I think that the level and the quality of football is just a touch too far for Qatar. I don't see them beating Netherlands. I don't see them beating Senegal. So it's gonna be tough for them to get through this. But
Mm,
look on the bright side. They can be amazing hosts for the rest of the tournament, and that's what they've been doing thus far. So I think
mm,
that's one thing you can take out of it, and this will definitely be a promotional tool for football in Qatar. And I think for going forward from here, we might see them qualify and compete at World Cups to come.
No, definitely. I think we just have a few minutes left. I just want us to touch on a fixture that's currently happening right now. Each and every World Cup, when England plays, they are always seen as contenders. It's the old "It's Coming Home" anthem that they like singing. They are currently 3-0 up. They're playing Iran. Really young squad that they took to the World Cup. Jude Bellingham has scored already. In the 35th minute, Bukayo Saka also got a goal in the 43rd minute. Raheem Sterling also got on the score sheet. Are they the dark horses of this tournament? Are England? They look to have a solid squad this time. Gareth Southgate seems to kind of have an understanding of the kind of players that he has and how he has how he can use them. There's also a lot of depth. I mean, if you can just look at the right back position, you have Trent Alexander-Arnold, Calvin Phillips, just a host of players that are doing well in the English Premier League. Also in other leagues, also if you look at Jude Bellingham, who plays in Germany. So is this it for England? Do they have an outside chance of finally taking it home?
It's actually an interesting one. They've been playing amazing football in the build-up to this World Cup. Shaky here and there, but they've managed to find their feet eventually. And going forward, I think this English team has so much to offer with the quality that comes out of the seat. Many people predicting likes of Harry Kane and just to be Raheem Sterling to be top goal scorers in the tournament. I mean, the bookies are out there talking these players up. But will this be the World Cup that England actually goes all the way? That's a question that you'll have to wait and see and take it round by round because England have this very much like the Proteas when it comes to cricket.
Choking.
They will not be put out of the park before the tournament. But come the tournament, you'll find that they just breeze through the group stage. They come knockout round. They'll lose to a team nobody would have expected, like South Africa lost to the Netherlands in the cricket.
I think that's a memory all South Africans would like to forget. I mean, you could lose to literally anyone, just not the Netherlands. But anyway, I want us to just touch on other fixtures. We have Senegal playing the Netherlands. As I've mentioned, the Netherlands always a dark horse. They have a host of experience playing in the World Cups. They are always competing, always out in the group stages, either coming out in the semifinals or the quarterfinals, or even making the finals like they did in 2010. They host a Senegal, which is kind of nervous. Aliou Cisse, local coach, which is good for African football. He's doing really well with the squad, but they don't have Sadio Mane. Is this going to play at the back of the heads of the Senegal players that, one of their biggest stars is not around, and they're playing a very confident Netherlands team, which in the World Cup they don't play. They always are the contenders, and we expect them to at least reach the semis. What's your thoughts on this fixture? Is kicking off at 6, Senegal, Netherlands. How do you see it panning out?
Look, for me, I think I see this one time now. It's going to be a 3-pointer for the Netherlands. But Senegal's definitely not going to make it easy for them because if there's any chance of an African team going through to the next round, Senegal will try to capitalize on their group because it will just take a draw, 2 draws and a victory, which is possible. So they can get a draw today. A draw against Netherlands, a victory over Qatar, and a draw against Ecuador for the running. So
you don't think Senegal can beat Ecuador?
Make them be more than happy and see that as a victory.
Okay. I hear you. Africa has its hopes and dreams on Senegal. I think they're one of our best representatives. But I'm gonna let you go now. I think we spent some quality time together. We'll catch up on Friday night where we'll be immersing ourselves deeply again into the World Cup because there are really some very, very interesting fixtures coming along. I think today you still have Argentina going to play Saudi Arabia. Messi's last dance, as they call it, his last World Cup, playing against the Saudi side, which is making, is starting to make really, really good appearances in the World Cup. They're playing well, showing glimpses that real work is being done. Another big fixture is the USA facing Wales. The US, again, another World Cup where they would want to cement themselves as a football playing nation. Their women's side has been doing really well, winning World Cups, winning continental titles, but the men's team hasn't really gotten going. But otherwise, from me, Selaelo, and the rest of the team, thank you to Tolani for being behind the desk, and thank you to Thaakir for joining me on this World Cup special. I'll be with you from Monday to Thursday every day, where we'll be just, for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so, might go over time if the bosses allows. We'll be just chatting football, chatting the World Cup. It's on everybody's lips. The world is excited that, the first Arab country is hosting the World Cup. And yeah, we're going to see. It's going to be a month of beautiful football, beautiful fixtures, memories that I hope we'll all take, throughout our lives. Because the World Cup kind of has that effect. You watch a game and you're gonna remember it for the rest of your life. You can remember where you are, who you were with when it happened, and how it happened. So I hope you're gonna be sticking with me and Salam Media, the rest of the team. Thaakir will be enjoying the World Cup and immersing ourselves into it. But for now, it's goodbye. Thank you so much for being in my company, and we'll chat again tomorrow.